Good morning, students. So, in the earlier class, in the last class, we were discussing about geographic segmentation. Earlier, we were discussing about segmentation, which explains that dividing the heterogeneous market or entire large market into small units so that you can focus, you can target your customers, and effectively you can position your product. Fine. So geographic segmentation is dividing the entire large heterogeneous market into micro units on the basis of various geographical features. So the next segmentation for 5 marks they may ask write a short note on demographic segmentation, and for 2 marks they may ask the definition of demographic segmentation. So you can make a note of these things. So why this demographic segmentation exists? Because a single marketing campaign or advertising or promoting is not it may not likely to appeal everyone. So because the 18-year-old or teenagers focus on few products and some other professionals and lawyers, doctors, they may need some other things. So while you introducing your product to the market, you have to target on the basis of your customers' age, gender, qualification, occupation, etc. So, understanding these similarities and differences allows a manufacturer or promoter to segregate the micro things, segregate even small things of the market so that into individual categories and to create specific selling points accordingly. That is the reason you can target your customers precisely. So this makes manufacturers or producers campaign much more effective and much more precise and the cost effective also. Very economically you can promote your product. Now, the meaning and definition. So it's very important for 2 marks definition or meaning. Dividing the market into smaller categories based on demographic factors. Demographic factors include age, gender, and income. Income usually depends upon the qualification and occupation of an individual. So it is demographic segmentation is nothing but dividing the heterogeneous or large market into smaller or micro part based on what basis you divide the market based on age of the consumers, age of the customers, occupation, gender, and their income level. So instead of reaching an entire market, a brand uses this method to focus resources into defined group. How do you define the group? You define the group on the basis of age, gender, and income. So the individual variables you can see, because if they ask for 5 marks, you have to explain all the things. You have to explain age, you have to explain gender, you have to explain occupation or income level of a customer, etc. So age, it's nothing but basic variable, because the preference of a consumer or taste of the customer may differ on the basis of their age. So this variable can be viewed regarding specific age ranges or life cycle stage, because if you are going to introduce a product targeting babies, or you can start manufacturing or selling and targeting for children and adolescents, that means teenagers, adults, and middle age and seniors. For example, if you are a manufacturer of certain medicinal things, you have to focus on the seniors. So, for example, many famous designers have different collection of target for various age groups. So they aim certain clothing lines at specific age ranges such as chic fashion line, younger prospects, and more formal and elegant. So these examples are for understanding purpose only. You can give example by your own in the same exam. So gender, because we segregate gender men and women because they have different likes and dislikes, need and thought processes. So if you concern buying of household groceries and home appliances, the decisions are usually made by women. Whereas the automobile sector, if any person is buying a bike or car, the decision maker is a man, usually men. So on these taste and preference basis, gender is one of the variable in demographic segmentation. And income group, you have to identify the class of the people, lower class, lower middle class, upper class, likewise. So if you are introducing a Mercedes Benz or BMW, like premium products, you have to focus on those people who have capacity to buy them. So it measures income is nothing but the measurement of buying capacity or buying power of the customer or people. So when you know the income range of of the people in a country or people in a region, you can spend money and promotional activities by targeting or focusing on those people. And occupation, always income level is largely depends upon the occupation of an individual. And the next variable, which including in demography is dividing the heterogeneous market into various smaller or micro parts on the basis of age, gender, income, occupation, as well as ethnicity and religion. So, because you can see uh, the tremendous increase in international business. If you are going to introduce your product in various other countries, you have to understand their ethnicity and the practice of religion in that place. Because if you are not focusing on these variables, ethnicity and religion, uh, you cannot find the conflicting interest, preference, attitudes, and beliefs. So this may impact positively or negatively on your product apparently. So see, Coca-Cola and Pepsi, they sell their products throughout the globe. But if you see the advertising campaign in US, Zimbabwe, or South African countries are different than how do they promote their product in India. So it largely depends upon ethnicity and religion of that place. And family structure. Earlier we used to have joint families, and joint families require only single home appliances, like the entire family, one fridge, one refrigerator was enough. When it becomes nucleus, when they divide into micro parts, when the huge joint family divides, each individual may need their own home appliances, their own television, their own refrigerator, their own washing machine, etc. So the family structure also largely, the success of the product depends upon family structure in a region or country. Then why we need demographic segmentation or advantages of demographic segmentation. So while explaining in some exam, you have to write brief on all the variables like age, gender. You have to explain each and every variable, and then you have to give two or three advantages also. You have to mention two or three importance or advantages of demographic segmentation. So it builds long lasting customer relationship. So reaching the customer on a more human level with demographic based personalized marketing creates deeper customer loyalty. To retain the customer, you you have to you have to create the loyalty among your customer by providing them good service, by providing them periodical information on their product. So it boosts their loyalty. So it allows them to identify with your brand and feel like you are an advocate for their needs. That means you know what they need and what their wants are, so which makes them more likely to do business with you over longer periods, right? So marketing is not merely selling the goods and services to an individual, but it creates a relationship by selling your product, and it improves product and services. So we are discussing about importance or advantages of demographic segmentation. It always improves products and services. So having loyal customer relationship, you are ought to produce quality product. It encourages a manufacturer to look at the products and services in a new way so that you can fulfill, you can satisfy your customer. The level of satisfaction increases when you focus on or when you enhance your quality of the product. So it optimizes marketing strategies because when you divide the heterogeneous market into micro units on the basis of age, gender, income level, occupation, ethnicity, and religion, it always you can precisely target the customer. So if 85% of the clients range from 20 to 35 years old, when you have segmented the entire region, this is the segment you are going to target. Spending manufacturers or producers or promoters time and money on seniors would be a waste because the age group in that particular region is majority of the people are aged between 20 to 35 years. And the importance, we are discussing about the advantages. So with the help of demographic data, you can monitor societal trends because the taste and preferences always change. They never long last. They never last long, right? So demographic data is a great way to monitor societal trends and shifts over time, both online and offline. So easy to measure. Demographic data tends to be easier to assess and measure due to the availability of the data itself and the steady flow of updates. So these are the demographic segmentation variables. That means you have demographic includes age, gender, income, religion, and ethnicity, occupation, etc. So demographic segmentation is nothing but dividing the large heterogeneous market into various smaller or micro units on the basis of variables such as age of the people, gender, and ethnicity and religion, and their income level, their occupation, their education qualification, etc. So, in the next class, we are going to discuss other segmentation parts because the entire segmentation they ask for 15 marks, and individual segmentation like geographical segmentation, demographic segmentation, and psychographic segmentation, behavioral segmentation, individually they ask for 5 marks. So, in the next class, we are going to discuss some behavioral and psychographic segmentations. And these PowerPoints, you have to make a note of it so that you can study for